Air fryer stromboli, one of my absolute favourite uses of leftovers in the air fryer. Though it doesn't have to be about leftovers, you can just load it up with your favourite pizza toppings. You can do just ham and cheese like we're showing you today. It's just literally one of those great recipes that's got a zillion uses. My name is Samantha, and along with my husband Dominic, who is behind the camera, we will be showing you today 12 different ways to incorporate the bread maker and the air fryer to make delicious kitchen gadget recipes. We are big fans of the bread maker dough, and what we like about the dough is how you can transform it for the air fryer recipes, or just keep it as dough, or just make it to use some bread. Today it's all about having some fun while the kids are at school and spending the day in the kitchen teaching you different ways to cook with these kitchen gadgets. And if you want to follow along with this series, simply head over to our YouTube channel and you can scroll through the different videos that we've done today. So this is some dough that I made earlier, or Dominic made earlier for us in the bread maker. It's been in the fridge overnight so that it was ready to make a stromboli with today. Now, as you can see, he's covered it in cling film just to keep it at its best in the fridge. And you need to toss aside your cling film, and you need to be focusing on the flour so that it's easy enough for you to be able to roll it. I always give it a sprinkle of flour, do my hands, this also adds a bit more to it, and then of course the rolling pin. Now for a stromboli, it kind of looks like a flatbread, so you're kind of looking for long, but not too thick in diameter. So you want to start there, so kind of think of it as like a big sausage. So now sprinkling the other side with some flour so it's not sticking. And then see how it's coming along. Right, as you can see, it's just missing its thickness at the top. But note, I'm probably going to chop off some of the thickness at the top because these air fryers are not exactly long for things like this, are they? So what I recommend you do first is put it to one side, get your air fryer basket out, consider the length that you've got to work with. So obviously mine is way too long. Even if I was to do it diagonally like that, it's still way too big. But you can make two of them and do one at a time. So I'm going to chop it around here. And then what I recommend you do is you pretend you're just about to cook something in the air fryer, and then you can kind of check the height and the width to make sure it's actually going to fit. So you can visualize that rolled up fitting in your air fryer basket. But that also means you've got another one, so if you want to do two of them, it's the perfect size. So I'm just going to toss that other dough to one side and then focus on this one. Let me just put the basket away so it doesn't get in your view. Right, so you've got the perfect size there. So now let's start with some tomato sauce. Try not to go too close to the edges because your focus is going to be on some egg wash down the surfaces so that you can roll it and it'll stick together well. So if you look, it's just there like that. Or if you're more of a bread lover than a pizza lover, you can have it thicker as well, or roll it down really thin if you prefer a thin one. So if you look, we're just going a bit there. Right, so the next step I recommend is to put the egg wash on, because then you can be working on your toppings and you know that this has been done. So let's do these sides here like this. And you go. You can always do some more egg wash once it's rolled up as well. So, cheese. Let's have lots of cheese, shall we? This is just some simple bag of grated mozzarella. It's from Germany and it's really nice. And we buy it a lot when we're making strombolis. So just add a good layer of cheese. And then, of course, I'm doing it with ham. But stromboli, I find, is nicest from leftovers. If you've got a leftover pie, leftover turkey dinner at Thanksgiving, they all work really well with stromboli. And then you can just kind of decorate it with a bit of ham and just layer up the top. You still want to be able to roll it, so you don't want to do it too high. And then, of course, you want to focus on the roll. So that's your main toppings. Let's just change it to one side because it's easier to roll when it's kind of facing you in the size that you want to do it in. And then tuck in some of the cheese. Your focus is on it touching the egg wash. Tuck it all in as you go and as you roll. It's hard to show you from this angle, but if you've got any ham that's hanging out or any tomato sauce, kind of push it in. And then if the edges don't match, just pull them until they do. And if you look, it's slowly coming together. What I actually recommend is give this layer another load of egg wash because it's not just quite sticking as much as I would like it to. And just do it on all the edges around there. And then go back to it again. And you'll notice it's stickier to touch now because of all the egg wash. So you just want to nip it together. Like that. And I know something else you can do is you can kind of fork it because then it's easier to keep it all together. But if you've just got a bit of tomato sauce that's kind of poking out, it's much better than cheese poking out because cheese poking out can go all over your air fryer and make it so messy to clean afterwards, depending what you're doing. So as you can see, it's just all coming together nicely. What I recommend is some sort of fork where you can kind of do the edges and it makes it just look a bit nicer before you put it in. A bit like when you're doing a homemade pie. But obviously we're talking stromboli here. It doesn't have to look perfect because it's about the taste, isn't it? So then, just a little bit of egg wash on top and it's ready to go in the air fryer. And I just better double check, make sure it actually fits in the air fryer still. And be very careful with your hands because it does stick because of the tomato sauce and the egg wash. So I find it's easiest just to hold it like that in your arms. And then you can use your arms as you're balancing for getting rid of any bits that are not stuck. Right, I have a feeling this is too long and I may have to chop some off. But no, it's fitted. I can't believe it's fitted. So it doesn't matter if it's kind of hanging over the edge like that, it will still cook. And at least then if there's any holes in it, they won't kind of all weep out and get filthy. So let me hold it up to the camera so you can have a look. So that's how to do stromboli for the air fryer. But like I say, the biggest challenge is making sure your dough actually fits in the air fryer. And then after that, you want to set the time to about 160, and that's 320 Fahrenheit for about 12 minutes. Of course, you can check on it, see if it needs a bit longer at all, or just tuck in. So, shall we check on our stromboli? Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's our air fried stromboli. I can't believe how good it looks. If you take a closer look, you'll actually see that the bread dough is absolutely fantastic for expanding when you're cooking. So it's like when you make a stromboli, It's like stuffed bread, and you can just fill it with whatever your favourite fillings are and just enjoy it as a lovely family meal. You can slice it up and have a slice each, and it could be on the side of a casserole or a stew, and it's also ideal for using up all your leftovers with. So I just want to show you what it's like when it's on a spatula. It's just so perfectly cooked and crispy, and it just comes out the air fryer so perfect. And you know, like I say, any fillings works well with this, and it's easy to move to a chopping board or whatever, just on a spatula. And then after that, I want to show you my air fryer basket, because what you don't know is that this recipe has been part of 12 air fryer and bread maker recipes we've done today. And this is how dirty the air fryer is after a day of using it. And if you look off, it's had strombolis and pizzas and calzones. There's not that much that's come off it and made it dirty. So it's going to be quite an easy clean jobby. So if you're worried that when you're cooking bread in the air fryer it'll make a lot of mess, then think again. Unless your dough is really, really wet, it will always be easy to clean up after making bread and similar produce. So please comment below with which bread maker and air fryer you have at home in your kitchen. Here in the Milners, we have just a cheap bread maker that we got from Amazon Germany that we had shipped to us, and we also use the Philips Air Fryer XL, which we've had for a few years now. And if you are into air fryers and bread makers, do head over to recipethis.com, as we have a lot of recipes for you to choose from there, and all the recipes that we're mentioning in these videos you can find over there too. Thanks for watching. We have a huge collection of kitchen gadget recipes, including air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker and many others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. Best of all, join our newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter. There we have plenty of principles, cooking time cheat sheets, free ebooks and mini courses to help you along your way in your kitchen gadgets journey.